Whoa, man! You're saying capital? You must be a communist.
I am a communist. Yes, that is correct.
Wow.
That's a
It's
good
like
call.
if you're not a capitalist, then you must be a communist. I mean, it's kind of sad. I'm like,
Yeah.
it doesn't always work. It's not the
Communism
opposite,
communism has evolved. Okay, there is actually I would have identified over the last 20 years as a green, right? And I think the Greens have a kind of a nuanced view of economics. It's kind of classical economics, as if environment is a capital pool, right? There is natural capital like oceans that do things for you and atmosphere does things for you. And so you can do it classical economics that way. And so you can still have commerce and capitalism in the green view. But what has actually shifted me over hard into the more traditional left view is the idea that traditional status quo structures are highly class identified, and look how hard they fight even when they're clearly obsolete. Even the stupidest things that we could easily get rid of for economic gain, like the use of coal for power and fracking for natural gas, these are massive minuses. Scientifically, they're a disaster. We should never do them. We have doctors telling us that it's costing us more in lung damage to frack for natural gas. But why can't we stop them? And we can't stop them for the reasons Karl Marx said, because the classes of oligarchs or benefiting from it are overpowered in the system. So you do need then something like a Cuban, Vietnamese, Chinese, Russian, French 1789 kind of revolution where you change who's in power, at least temporarily. And it could be possible to do this democratically. I think India has done a very good job of evolving itself democratically. And so have many West European countries and East European countries. I'm not saying it never works, but I'm saying that when you're faced with a massive military industrial complex that controls all the parties in your system and controls the media, and it just prevents any change, like Trump couldn't change anything in the United States, and he was a huge bomb thrown into the system. So at what point do you just have to have either the country dissolve or the bureaucracy ejected by the people, and something like 1917? Like it's on the table as a possibility in the U.S. January 6th was not a small thing, and in UK, the only reason I say UK goes apart first is because it would happen peacefully. The Scotland's referendum, Northern Ireland's referendum, these are preset pieces. We know how they'll play out. We even know how the powers would devolve. It's not going to be a war. Even if Wales left, it's not a war. But in Ukraine, the oblasts, if they fell cleanly, it wouldn't be a war. It would be like Yugoslavia. We break up according to the borders that existed internally in the country before. If the U.S. breaks up, that's different, because a lot of that is irrational straight lines drawn over nothing and urban versus rural population conflict.